Imagine a man whose words would change the world forever, a man who boldly declared that all men are created equal, yet lived a life entwined with contradictions. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, stands as one of history's most fascinating figures. From the very first moment, he challenges us. Can one person embody both the ideals of liberty and the realities of an imperfect world? As the camera sweeps over the rolling hills of Monticello, the grand halls of Revolutionary Congress, and the ink-stained pages of the Declaration, we are drawn into the story of a thinker, a diplomat, a visionary, and a man of complex human flaws. Jefferson's journey is not just a tale of historical events, it is a journey into the mind of a revolutionary who shaped the American experiment, yet wrestled with moral contradictions that still spark debate today. In this video, we will explore Jefferson's early life, his groundbreaking contributions to the birth of a nation, his presidency and vision for America, and the controversies that shadowed his legacy. By the end, you will see not just the man behind the legend, but the enduring power of his ideas and the lessons they offer for freedom, governance, and humanity itself. Through this cinematic journey, every scene from the quiet study to the vibrant debates of the Continental Congress will reveal why Thomas Jefferson remains a figure whose life is as compelling as the ideals he dared to write into history. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743, in Shadwell, Virginia, into a world shaped by colonial ambition and Enlightenment thought. From an early age, he displayed a thirst for knowledge that would define his life. His father, Peter Jefferson, was a planter and surveyor, instilling in young Thomas both an appreciation for the land and a curiosity for mathematics and geography. Yet it was his mother, Jane Randolph Jefferson, who introduced him to a wider intellectual world, steeped in the classical literature, philosophy, and moral debates that would shape his worldview. Jefferson's childhood coincided with a period of great intellectual awakening in Europe and the American colonies. Enlightenment thinkers, such as John Locke, Montesquieu, and Francis Bacon, were redefining ideas about liberty, governance, and the nature of human understanding. Jefferson, eager and disciplined, absorbed these ideas, internalizing the belief that reason, education, and moral virtue were the pillars of a just society. He taught himself Latin, Greek, French, and the art of writing with clarity and precision, skills that would later allow him to craft words capable of inspiring a revolution. Beyond academics, Jefferson was an avid reader of natural sciences, history, and philosophy. He meticulously documented observations about farming, architecture, and even the study of fossils and paleontology, displaying a curiosity that spanned every aspect of human knowledge and the natural world. His intellectual rigor was matched by his moral imagination. Though born into a planter family that owned slaves, Jefferson wrestled with the ethics of freedom and human equality from a young age. These early reflections would later become central to his writings, even as they clashed with the reality of his social position. By the time Jefferson entered college, first at the College of William and Mary, and then through private study under renowned tutors, he had already developed a vision of a society guided by reason, civic responsibility, and individual liberty. His notebooks reveal a mind tirelessly exploring questions about government, morality, and human potential. Jefferson was not merely preparing for a career. He was shaping a philosophy, one that would eventually challenge kings, inspire nations, and confront the contradictions within his own life. These formative years, a blend of rigorous study, observation, and self-reflection, laid the foundation for the revolutionary ideas he would later put into practice, and for the enduring complexity of a man whose vision would outlast the limitations of his time. By 1776, the American colonies were in turmoil. Tensions with Britain had reached a boiling point, and the colonies were ready to assert their independence. Jefferson, now a young delegate in the Continental Congress, was entrusted with a task that would define his legacy, drafting a declaration to articulate the colony's reasons for separating from British rule. Jefferson approached this monumental responsibility with the same intellectual rigor and moral ambition that had guided him since childhood. He spent long hours studying political philosophy, consulting with fellow delegates, and refining the language that would carry the weight of revolution. The result was the Declaration of Independence, a document whose elegance and moral clarity have echoed through history. Jefferson wrote, "We hold these truths to be that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, but among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These words were revolutionary not merely in their assertion of independence from Britain, but in their claim that political authority derives from the consent of the governed, a radical challenge to monarchy and inherited power. Yet Jefferson's words were both aspirational and conflicted. The phrase, "all men are created equal," stood in stark contrast to the reality of slavery, which Jefferson and many of his contemporaries continued to practice. This contradiction has been the source of ongoing debate. How could the author of such egalitarian ideals also own human beings? Jefferson's response was complex. He spoke and wrote against the institution of slavery in principle. Yet he struggled to reconcile those principles with the economic and social realities of his time. Despite these contradictions, the Declaration of Independence succeeded in uniting the colonies under a shared vision of liberty. It became a moral compass, not only for the United States, but for movements worldwide, inspiring generations to challenge oppression and demand rights. Jefferson's role in the Declaration elevated him to international prominence. He was celebrated in Europe and the colonies alike as a thinker who combined legal precision with philosophical depth, a man capable of translating abstract ideals into the concrete language of governance. Through this document, Jefferson demonstrated his mastery of words as instruments of power. He did not merely declare independence. He created a vision of a society where freedom and human dignity could guide the organization of political life. The Declaration's impact was immediate and enduring, establishing Jefferson as one of the foremost minds of his era, capable of shaping not only his nation but the moral imagination of the world. Jefferson's career extended far beyond the Declaration of Independence. His time as a diplomat in France, beginning in 1785, exposed him to revolutionary ideas firsthand. As he observed the dramatic upheavals that would later shape Europe and the world, he developed a keen understanding of international politics, learning to balance ideals with pragmatism. Jefferson's diplomatic experience influenced his later vision of America, a nation guided by reason, commerce, and agriculture rather than military conquest or entrenched aristocracy. In 1801, Jefferson became the third president of the United States. His presidency was marked by bold initiatives and innovative thinking. Perhaps his most consequential act was the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which doubled the size of the United States and expanded opportunities for settlement and agriculture. Jefferson's commitment to Republican ideals also shaped his domestic policies. He advocated for limited federal government, protection of individual liberties, and the promotion of public education as a cornerstone of an enlightened citizenry. His belief in an agrarian society composed of independent farmers, capable of self-governance, reflected both his philosophical vision and practical understanding of the American economy. Jefferson's leadership style combined intellectual depth with pragmatism. He preferred persuasion over coercion, ideas over force, and reason over rigid ideology. Yet his presidency was not without challenges. He faced foreign policy crises, including tensions with Britain and France, conflicts with the Barbary pirates, and debates over the balance of power between states and federal authority. Through these trials, Jefferson remained committed to the ideals he had articulated decades earlier: liberty, equality before the law, and the possibility of human progress. His tenure as president solidified his reputation not just as a founding father, but as a nation builder whose vision extended beyond immediate politics to the enduring project of creating a stable, prosperous, and principled republic. Jefferson's accomplishments in governance, diplomacy, and national expansion demonstrated the practical application of his philosophical beliefs, showing that ideas, when paired with leadership, can shape the course of history. Despite his towering achievements, Jefferson's life was marked by profound contradictions that continued to provoke debate. His ownership of slaves, numbering in the hundreds over his lifetime, stands in direct tension with his declaration that all men are created equal. Jefferson's writings reveal a man acutely aware of this moral dissonance. He publicly condemned slavery, proposed gradual emancipation, and expressed hope that future generations would overcome the injustice. Yet, he remained economically dependent on the very institution he criticized, leaving historians to wrestle with questions about compromise, human weakness, and the pressures of social and economic context. Jefferson's personal life added further complexity. His long-standing relationship with Sally Hemings, an enslaved woman at Monticello, exemplifies the contradictions of power affection, and exploitation that defined his household. These controversies do not diminish Jefferson's intellectual legacy, but they humanize him, revealing a man navigating the tensions between ideals and reality. Jefferson also faced criticism for his political positions. While advocating for limited government, he sometimes exercised executive power assertively, including the Louisiana Purchase and the Embargo Act of 1807, measures that sparked debate over constitutional authority and presidential reach. Yet, these contradictions are part of what makes Jefferson enduringly relevant. They force us to confront the complexity of moral leadership, the challenges of reconciling principle with practice, and the necessity of critically engaging with history. Jefferson's life demonstrates that greatness is rarely simple, and that the value of ideas lies not in perfection, but in their capacity to inspire reflection, debate, and progress. By examining his contradictions, we gain insight not only into the man himself, but into the broader challenges of human society. The struggle to align ideals with action, and the ongoing effort to shape a world worthy of our highest aspirations. Thomas Jefferson's legacy is immense, complex, and enduring. Beyond his tangible contributions to Declaration of Independence, the Louisiana Purchase, and the founding of the University of Virginia, Jefferson's influence extends into the realms of philosophy, governance, and public imagination. He championed the idea that education is the cornerstone of liberty, believing that informed citizens are essential for the survival of a free society. His architectural achievements, including the design of Monticello and the University of Virginia, reflect his belief in harmony, order, and the human capacity for creativity. Jefferson's writings, speeches, and policies inspired generations of leaders and thinkers worldwide, providing a model for democratic governance, civic responsibility, and intellectual engagement. Yet his legacy is inseparable from his contradictions. The debates over slavery, equality, and morality that surrounded his life continue to resonate, prompting reflection on the meaning of freedom and justice. Jefferson's life teaches that progress is iterative, imperfect, and often fraught with tension between ideals and reality. Today, students study his works, historians analyze his decisions, and citizens draw inspiration from his vision of a society grounded in liberty and reason. Jefferson's enduring significance lies in his capacity to provoke thought, challenge assumptions, and illuminate the path toward a more just and enlightened world. As we reflect on his life, we are reminded that history is not merely a record of events, but a dialogue with ideas that have the power to transform societies, challenge injustices, and inspire generations. Thomas Jefferson, with all his brilliance and contradictions, remains a testament to the enduring potential of human thought, imagination, and the pursuit of liberty. His story is a mirror of our own struggles, aspirations, and the timeless quest to reconcile human imperfection with the highest ideals of justice, equality, and freedom. Thomas Jefferson's life reminds us that history is never simple, and the people who shape it are never without flaws. He was a visionary who dared to imagine a nation built on liberty, equality, and the power of ideas. Yet he was also a man bound by the contradictions of his time. His words continue to inspire generations, challenging us to think critically about freedom, responsibility, and the moral choices that define society. From Monticello to the halls of Congress, from the Declaration of Independence to the founding of the University of Virginia, Jefferson's legacy is both monumental and deeply humane, a blend of brilliance, ambition, and imperfection. As we reflect on his life, we are called not only to admire his achievements, but also to learn from his contradictions, understanding that the pursuit of justice and progress is ongoing, never complete. Jefferson teaches us that ideas can outlive individuals, that words can shape the course of nations, and that the struggle to align ideals with reality is the truest measure of human endeavor. His story is a mirror for all of us, a reminder that the quest for freedom, knowledge, and moral clarity is never finished, and that each generation must rise to carry the torch of liberty forward.